I'm not a capitalist. So whenever I see someone make an ending to a game that signals an obvious cash-in sequel, I feel a bit of my faith in humanity die inside.
The only games I have that reveal an obvious sequel are Banjo-Kazooie, Kingdom Hearts 2, Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Metroid Prime, and Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, whether the sequels are good or not. But maybe it's just me.
If you're going to make an ending to a video game that obviously indicates a sequel, at least have some dignity and make it entertaining!
Some people may find it entertaining. You're treating your opinion as a fact again.
You know, because video games are entertainment? Arguably the most infamous example is the ending of Halo 2, where Master Chief says he's going to finish the fight, only to have Halo 2 end right after he says this. But in my opinion, the absolute worst ending of this kind comes from Mega Man 4, where Dr. Wily escapes his fortress by getting out through a secret door!
Wow, I didn't know you were so good at poetry.
Yeah, that pretty much says, "Thanks for playing! Get ready to fork over your 20s for Mega Man 5 in a few months!" Gah!
I'm afraid I'm going to have to skip this next scene because...
Enough!
You're right, it is getting annoying. Also, Peanut3423 said that a dark past is almost always necessary for heroes, but they don't always have to brood over it.
Characters that have a dark past in video games will very often take any given opportunity to monologue about every single depressing detail about their past, especially with the rise of voice acting.
Okay, to quote autarch1224 in his third-degree commentary, mute button for the win.
Even a fragment. None of the baby remained on me. I knew it to be true, but still couldn't help looking at my palm for a sign. Never again would I encounter the baby. Never. The finality of it struck me once again.
If you're wondering what Samus is referring to, she's talking about the infant Metroid from Metroid 2 Return of Samus that she adopted. Sorry for the spoiler, but it was spoiled at the beginning of Super Metroid 2.
The worst part about this is, many characters with dark pasts don't seem to develop much.
I'm skipping the next scene because... never mind.
Metroid Samus is emotionally scarred by Ridley, showing this in Prime 3 by attempting to violently finish him off.
In chronological order, this is the third time Samus faces Ridley, so what's so bad about her trying to violently finish him off? I mean, Ridley is a bad guy.
And literally freezing in fear after seeing the terrifying beast revived unexpectedly in Other M.
Wait, you said you were mad at Samus for freezing in fear after Ridley was revived for like the millionth time in Other M, because she should have expected, due to the fact that this is the millionth time she's faced him. But then you put a subtitle saying you don't blame her because you would also freeze in fear if your dragon nemesis would have returned after having his remains explode on planet Zebus.
And Shadow the Hedgehog has to have the most cliched of all backstories. The fact that he doesn't remember anything. Nobody's perfect. People still love these characters despite their flaws. But if a character broods on for the whole game, it gets very annoying because it seems that brooding is all that these characters can do!
Okay, here's my example. In Kingdom Hearts 350 over 2 days, and in Kingdom Hearts 2, Roxas broods, but it's not too...
Cutscene deaths are annoying, but at least they're, well, deaths.
I think what you're trying to say is they're supposed to have you feel the emotion with the game. You know, like when a character in a video game dies, you're supposed to feel sad.
If you're going to go through all the drama of having a character enter a near inescapable deadly scenario...
Wait, did you see that subtitle? And he put in the subtitle, "Yeah, Cloud, go through that scenery to your heart's content." Was that subtitle really necessary? I mean, what do you mean by chew that scenery? Are you talking about Aerith's soul? Are you talking about you want him to chew her soul out or something? Because she's already dead.
At least respect common sense and have the character actually die. The undisputed king of fake deaths is Final Fantasy IV, where only one major character dies, even despite there being 4 other scenes where characters appear to die!
Some guy by the name of Killer Burry posted a comment in the comment section of your video saying that 7 characters appeared to die in Tales of Symphonia. So technically, Tales of Symphonia has Final Fantasy IV beaten. I haven't played any of those 2 games, but yeah.
All of the characters in question, except for Tella, reappear very much alive after their supposed death scenes, and continue to fight another day! What's worse is that these survivors survive after the most impossible situations, an example of which is Young, who is saved from an exploding room by fairies. But worst of all is Sid, an old man who survives detonating a grenade in order to block a rocky cavern to the underworld, all the while falling from the sky!
I'm skipping the next thing because, never mind.
But I've also heard of completely ruining a dramatic moment. That reminds me.
I once spent a lifetime hunting!
I don't know if the next scene's copyrighted or not, but I'm not taking my chances.
I've been ranting about unoriginal concepts throughout this whole list, and now that we're in the top 2, it's time to tackle one of the big ones. Unoriginal villains. You know what I'm talking about. Those unthreatening hacks that just...
I'm pretty sure most of you know what I'm going to be doing right now. Yep, that's right. And I don't know how to convert the video to an MP3. But he did say unoriginal villains just stand around, monologue, and constantly laugh, and somehow do all this while not getting killed mid-speech or mid-laughter.
The absolute worst offender of this kind, by far, is Xdeath from Final Fantasy V.
I saw a lot of comments complaining about what you just said there. And again, your opinion is not a fact. If you don't like them, that's perfectly fine. But yeah, true, I may find the Star Fox Adventures version of Andros unoriginal because he's completely random. He's uglier than he was before, but his voice is not awesome anymore. But that's my opinion. If you like him, that's fine.
Apart from having a backstory that may as well have been made with Mad Libs, nothing about this guy is subtle. All he does is boast, monologue, and laugh. I'm not exaggerating. Before the final battle with him, he literally does all 3! I don't think I need to say anymore. This cliche speaks for itself.
You hate them.
I hate them. Everyone known to man hates them.
Just so you guys know, that was me who said you hate them. I just replaced when he said you hate them because, again, I don't know how to convert the video to an MP3. It's just that he showed, yeah.
You ask what I'm talking about? The answer will likely make you convulse with bad memory-induced rage. Well, this is it. The worst cliche in gaming history is the underwater level.
When I was planning on making this as my first commentary, Jackopop said that not everyone hates underwater levels. I mean, he actually kind of likes them.
Oh god! These levels are always a total pain.
I agree that underwater levels are frustrating, like in Kirby's Canvas Curse, where Kirby is constantly floating up. You have to use the stylus to bring him down, or in the other ones where the paintbrush doesn't work. But some are pretty nice, but that's my opinion.
The physics of the game is always altered in these sections, almost never for the better.
Not always. They don't affect your movement in Metroid 2 Return of Samus.
Widely considered the most frustrating level in Zelda history, Ocarina of Time's Water Temple perfectly exemplifies my hatred for water-related stages. The amount of times you will switch the water levels, put on your iron boots, as well as scream in agony is so mind-blowing that Shigeru Miyamoto himself regrets the Water Temple's design. 2D platformers are abominable with regards to their water levels. The Sonic series will have you literally drown if you stay underwater for too long, and controls are slippery underwater. Gravity is altered underwater in the Mega Man series. Coupled with spikes, The increased gravity underwater will be the death of you.
I think you mean decreased gravity. Decreased gravity lets you jump higher, though in this case it's a bad thing because it's easy to hit the spikes and die.
I wonder if the designers of these 2D stages have ever been in water before. You do not sink in water. You float on top of the water.
You do realize that Sonic can't swim, right? Also, I'm skipping...
Shut up! It only seems to make sense in the Metroid series, where Samus is in a heavy metal suit of armor. And even then, her movement is hindered! Honestly, these levels are unavoidable.
Not all of them. In Super Mario Bros. 3, it's possible to beat the game without going in the water even once, thanks to the magic whistles.
But because of how shockingly patience-trying these levels are, we almost never enjoy their repeated appearances.
Right? Now, you know what I'm going to do next. Yep, that's right. However, Peanut3423 does say that these levels are always the one that aggravates us the most, and that he thinks underwater levels are the worst video game cliches of all time.
Slimy Spring Galaxy is pretty awesome, though.
Wait, didn't you say a few minutes ago that underwater levels are always a total pain? Now you say Slimy Spring Galaxy is pretty awesome? I think you mean to say except for that level in particular. Alright, show's over. Time for my final thoughts. It was a great top 10 list. I know I said at the beginning of the commentary. I even added your video as one of my favorites, but I still felt the urge to provide constructive criticism. Now let's see. You treated your opinion as a fact a lot, you unintentionally offended a huge fan base of XF fans, not only that, but you contradicted yourself a few times. The last line was somewhat funny, though. And I'm also sorry for cutting out all those clips. I just didn't want my account taken down for copyright infringement. For those of you who wish to see the clips that I edited out, please watch the video in the description box. Well, that ends my commentary. I'll see you guys next time.